mercy, have mercy, have mercy. We have so much to talk about. I have not talked to Tyra at all after this episode, so I have no clue what she thinks. I know I told her I was in tears, but that was the extent of what I said. Tyra, how are you today? And are you ready to get into this episode, the penultimate episode of season 3, The Gilded Age?
Oh, yes. So much happened. Like so much happened. Every moment where I'm like, how y'all gonna top the last episode? It's like, oh my goodness. My chest. Like we just, got the run by Fruity cart an episode ago. And this is just really, really impactful. I'm loving it. I'm emotional, but I'm loving it at the same time.
Okay, so now here's the thing, y'all. When I say I cry, Tyra always gives me, what made you cry, Ashley? Why did you cry? I want to know, and I'm just going to ask this because we're about to get into the thick of everything. Did you understand my tears?
I did. I did. Because, soon I'm like, all right, here she go with a little emotional self. I was like, oh, Oscar, look at you. Oh.
We're going to get into it. But let's say hello to the people because you guys are coming in and know what to do. You came in, you hit that like button. All right. You came in, you dropped in the chat, you said hello. And Missy Natasha even came through dripping with a $10 super chat just because. And we appreciate you, sis. Thank you for being here. Vic says, listen, I have my Kleenex ready. Tremaine, anyone going to the hospital to see if Chicken George is still alive. Listen, we're not making it to the hospital. We're going to make it across the street is probably where we're going. Missy Natasha says, girl, me too. Big Daddy Russ better be okay. Hey, Kizzy29, I'm finally catching a live. You are so welcome here. We have one more week of the Gilded Age. Y'all just have to come through to all of our lives. They are really a good time. Hey, Anakin, not Vader. Hey, Chad. Hey, John Paul Jones. Good to see you, boo. Jasmine, what's going on, sister? Hope you were having an amazing Monday. Roxy SDG, first time on live with all. Well, you are welcome. I hope you have an amazing time. This is a beautiful community, right? And if that's not enough, you can join our Discord right here, the collective, and be a part of the family. It's really a good time over there. Hey, Quinn Too Pretty. Hope you're having a good Monday. Hey, Toshiba Girl. Hey, Jeffrey. Hey, Dred Shinobi. Listen, I'm going to say hello to everyone because this live, we're going to get into the thick of it. Hey, Karina. I don't even go here, but this episode sounded interesting. Listen, it's good. It's good. I know because you be in just like that, Karina. She's like, let me be sure.
It's very, very Mean Girls. She doesn't even go here.
Hey, Unartha, child. This was on another level and was. Hey, Pamela. Hey, Rico. Hey, NM0852. Okay. All right. Hey, A. I'm going to get y'all. I'm making sure I get all of the people. Hey, Belinda. Let's see. Who else do we have? Hey, Hannah. What's going on? Hey, Yolanda. Yes, very emotional episode. NYC Law Lady says hello. Hey, Taylor. So glad I caught a live. Love you both down bad. And we love you too, girl. We love you. All right. Hey, TP and hey, Danita. We are going to get over here, Tyra, because I can't wait because the way... I want to preface it. So, no, not the beard, because the beard that connects on both sides cannot be gone. That's first. But what got me originally in this episode, Tyra, was Blake Ritson's performance. If he's not nominated for something over here, because the way I've hated his character since the beginning and the way he had me boo-hoo crying real tears in this episode, he was a tour de force. Like, I thought his performance was incredible. And not to knock anybody else in the room, because Baranski over here, not saying too much, but giving everything in her face. Like, everybody in the scene, even damn Marian, acted down. Do you hear me? Miranda, like, you were over there too performing. Like, we're going to get to it. Tyra, overall thoughts of the episode, because I could go on.
Girl, this was amazing. This was amazing. All of you who have been sat with us talking about the show, y'all know I'm about that action. I've been waiting. I actually know how I perceived that first season on down to kind of that second. I was like, okay, it's it's cute, but they're testing my patience with the storylines and us really having some motion. Girl, we got motion and emotional all at the same time. The acting was beautiful. I was like, Oscar. Now, I'm not one, so much for the tears, but I really felt it. And I was like, this is really brilliant from everyone. But with Oscar, the way that he has been doing absolutely nothing for me, and the way that we could turn on a dime to where I'm like, somebody go see about him. You can lay within my bosom. Oscar, I will take care of you. I will nurse you back to health, my good man. I was really feeling for Oscar. Marian finally did something right this episode. She did a lot of wrong, but some right too. It was just great storytelling. And just when I thought, and I knew it was, as soon as it started and it said, the episode was directed by Sally Richardson, I was like, you know what, Sally be showing out. They're not
Yeah.
gonna bring Sally out for nothing. I said, okay, yeah, she came and she knew exactly what to do with these people and where to put them. This was just great and exceptional, and what it's supposed to do for the penultimate episode, because it's a lot of penultimate of nothing happening. It was like, oh, this matters, because with all of this, I can't wait to see how we tie this off.
I was like, Julian Fellows can go directly to the hot place. Him and Sonia over there in that writer's room concocting storylines. I was like, okay, we're going to have some brevity in this episode. I knew that there were going to be some shifts and changes narratively because we have a lot to wrap up in the final episode, but I did not expect another immediate tragedy. Like, you took me on an emotional roller coaster. And I said, what are you saving this for? Like, we have been on air for 3 seasons. And although I have loved it down since the very beginning, I'm not a fool. And observation is observation. And I've said it since we've been watching season 3 that this is the best episode or the best season of the Gilded Age since the beginning, hands down.
Because like this is old school storytelling and old school. At least this show feels. I'll keep saying it feels very early 2000s. Like it's just over there, and we know about those shows. You weren't getting canceled right off the bat the moment that it didn't perform. You weren't hyper fixated on. You had time to slow build and realize what you want your characters and your stories and your arcs to be, and that normally happens around the 3rd season. We just don't see it anymore, so now it feels like a surprise.
Yeah, because now, we're out the gate strong in most series that last today, right? You have to come out swinging first season, i.e. The Last of Us, and you have to deliver. Otherwise, it's over. This did have time to cook, and it is more. I agree with that. I agree with that assessment. This definitely feels like a late 90s, early 2000s moment where a show knew they were going to get at least 3 or 4 seasons, and so they could take their time and really knit a yarn. Thank you, Unartha, for the $5 super chat. The way Agnes went cold as she realized the tea with Oscar, and it was like Elsa was freezing the room. Listen, we're going to get into it, and let's get on, because I say 10s across the board for this episode. It was amazing. Y'all know how we do. We go character by character, and then we get into the story of it all. Miss Scott over here hosting suffrage meetings in the Van Ryn house, sponsored by Ada, but also still not telling the truth, confessing love. I think about you all the time too. Yeah, what you always say, Tyra, in the diner. Yeah, but I know we're supposed to make the chocolate with water, but I put a little milk in yours. Like, I think about you daily. And he says the same. You're not like anybody else I've ever met, Miss Scott. Like, I'm trying to see what that be like ultimately. And we see, of course, like her just kind of drift through this episode. We didn't have a lot of conversation between the two of them, not until the end of the episode, and that was really around Mama Kirkland and the tea Leslie Uggams was delivering. But what did you think of Miss Scott this episode, and what do you see for her in the finale? Because the preview I saw, I was like, oh God.
Yeah, she said my manager be tripping talking about I gotta use water, but I always use some milk and cream for you, Dr. Kirkland, because you look real good. All I'm gonna say is I'm very petty, and at some point in time, I need to see somebody roll up on Peggy with an envelope.
Listen, he would
I know
never
that's
play
gonna leave her out. I know it's probably implied, but we saw everybody else's reaction to Jack's success and him receiving his funds. All but Miss Peggy, she was a part of the tribe. She believed in him. I want to see her get rolled up on with her envelope of $100. That's all I'm saying.
They gonna
But
do it.
I'm saying back to her. Back to her. They are so adorable. Like they knew it. They knew that we needed a little smoke because prior we were like, okay, we need to really get into them and believe in their relationship, believe in its passion. Where's the fire? Oh, it's fire, and it's so cute and it's so adorable and very safe because Peggy has yet to say X, Y, and Z. I mean, I was not surprised by this episode. We were waiting on this moment because we knew it would come back. I think she's just been basking in everything going so well for her. Like, all right, the suffrage is happening. My writing is taking off. And, I finally got maybe the man of my dreams. And then he said, I don't even care about that, baby girl. Let's look into the future. Let's raven this. We don't got to talk about that. I hate that, it had to come and bite her in the butt, but here we are.
We knew this was going to happen, and I hate to be right. We'll get to the slide, but I just know Peggy is smarter than this, and she has enough lived experiences to know that in this time period, in this world, from the family that he comes from the family that she comes from, her situation is very different. And I want to deliver this information to you before anybody else can tell you. The Black elite village is not that big that people will not know your tea. And I said, if mama didn't hire the damn Pinkertons to discover it, I knew it was going to get back to her. I just hate we saw it this way. And I hate that Peggy didn't take the onus as this progressive woman, to really just put it out there. Like, don't live in that delusion with him, baby, because you know what the real is. You've lost a baby.
It was so much fun. It was so cute though. It was so innocent. It was picturesque. Well, I don't know. I don't have to ruin it right now. We have time for this. It's not like we, settled on. We haven't made any proper arrangements yet. Do I really gotta bring that up?
Newspaper lady. That's the other thing. You're in the news. Like, you've seen the realities. Like, you've been writing for the paper. Like, baby, you know what tea is.
So this is Peggy's Achilles heel. Like, without this, Peggy is quite perfect, and this is maybe the only thing in life that she can't stand on, that she's insecure about. It's hard to share that, it's hard.
Yeah, I know. Let's get over here to Ada. Ada resting in her full power and authority this episode. We see kind of an Ada taking the reins and tells Miss Marian, you don't need to tell Agnes. I said it's okay for you to have the suffrage meeting here. Like, I run this now. So maybe she's fully walking into her independence as the woman of the house. She loved it when Miss Astor complimented her for welcoming them to have their whole excommunicado conversation. I want to know from you, Tyra, what does this mean for Ada's character moving forward? Is this a new era of Ada? Is the past behind her, or are we going to see her falter?
I think Ada is coming full circle. The way Ada set up this whole, episode with her chest and said, this here I do joint, okay? This is my house. You don't have to check with anybody. She said it with her chest. It wasn't any kind of, well, I'm the one paying. Like, no, this is my house. We don't have to check with Agnes about anything. I said that we're going to host it, and that's what we're going to do. I think we're coming around. I think that facade was kind of broken for her when she realized, you read the paper like everybody else. This is fake. You never had any contact, and she had to get her own closure that way. And I think we're moving forward. It would be really trash for them to give her a oopsie-daisical moment in the finale to go, oh, Ada, lock up your money. Ada's out. Ada's out. Nurse's out again. They're not going to do her that way. I feel like where we were waiting this entire season for the power dynamic to shift back and come on, Oscar, pull on up and give Agnes back the money. No, I think that it's going to stay like this, and probably rolling over into the next season, we'll see those things from Agnes that we've been waiting on that does not revolve around money. But the fact that they didn't want to do it here, we just got so much of the same from them. I think we're progressing. It would make no sense to regress her back into a delusion at this point.
It wouldn't, and I hope they don't. But plot devices and stuff, they try to get funky. But I'm gonna pray and hope that they didn't. And I see you guys going back and forth about Peggy's history, and so I think Jacqueline summed it up pretty well in that she married the shopkeep boy who was an apprentice to her father, to Mr. Scott. She fell in love with him. He wasn't educated. He wasn't erudite. He wasn't any of those things. So the father was mad. They had got married. She had a baby. And then I believe the dad ran him off, paid him off, did something, and then took the baby as well and adopted the baby. baby out. So basically, Peggy was under the impression that her husband had walked out on her, and the only way to really remedy the shame of it all was to get rid of the baby, right? Because I can't be a single mother out here. So yes, I think in a nutshell, this is exactly what happened as far as Peggy's history. And let me get the supers, honey, because y'all coming through. Thank you. Thank you, NM0852, for the $4.99 super chat. Y'all, am I missing something? I still don't understand why Ada isn't living in the Forte home. Did she sell it? Is it on Airbnb? It's just a part of her assets at this point. I think that Agnes probably was really like, come back home because you need to be surrounded by family and those that you love. I don't know if they said exactly what's happening with the property, but I'm sure it's still being run in some capacity or they sold it. What's your understanding of it, Tyra?
I just feel like from a writing and show standpoint, it just really wouldn't work. How would we kind of integrate Ada into the story fully? They need them adjacent and across the street and all in there just for it to kind of work. We're gonna go visit Ada in Forte while she's hosting a seance alone. Like, I think it would have gone even further if she was over there by herself. And we need them. It's very yin and yang. That's why as quickly as she got the husband, she lost him, because we need her there with Agnes.
Yeah, we need them all in the same house to get that sisterly dynamic. Thank you, Charlotte Bain, for the $5 super chat. You go, Ada. She owned that. I enjoy your reviews. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you guys so much. And all the support, y'all, for the Gilded Age. Thank y'all for coming through. Speaking of Agnes, child, the look of, and that's why I'm saying Christine Baranski gonna deliver a face every single time. She's going to perform. And if you haven't go and check out her Broadway performances. They're on YouTube. They're on Instagram. She is a force all on her own. But seeing her over here in this role gets me every time. And today was no different, Tyra. She got a realization about her son that she knew but never really wanted to know. And it was written all over her face. You don't have to say a word, Agnes, because we saw it. We knew it. And I'm wondering, because we see that there's now going to be tension between Agnes and Oscar, even more so. If it wasn't enough that he lost the family fortune, now you're homosexual too. Like, what's with this going forward? Are we going to see a different side of Agnes, or is she going to be as stoic as ever?
Oh, baby, I don't think so. I think Agnes is going to go out of her way not to draw any attention to this, like in the best way that she can. She's going to act like that conversation never happened and we're going to move forward. The best thing you could do is pretend it didn't happen also, and we're going to sweep that under the rug. That's the last thing that she would want. But just that revelation in the scene, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And I love it. Was what was understood. It did not have to be explained. This is acting, you guys. Black acting school. It was acting. They were acting down and it was gorgeous. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, Oscar, no, somebody stop him. Somebody get him right now. But it was everybody just kind of had that realization all at the same time. But I don't see Agnes just really going into like maybe dive in. I mean, if she did, that would really give her some character progress, maybe in another season, to really touch bases with her son in a way that we haven't seen them before. But just the Agnes that we currently know, she's not going to confront this. Mm-mm.
She's not. And there was, again, because, and that's why I'm saying, like, when people can act, it's just so evident, y'all. I think we're just fed so much crap lately that you forget what true acting really looks like. And the fact that we saw her chagrin, we saw her anger, we saw her sadness, we saw the hurt, because I can't really comfort you in this, knowing what I know about you. And then we also saw the anger, like all in a facial expression, all in a look across the room, is insanity. Again, kudos. Again, everybody in the room did their big one. But I'm definitely interested, because you can't go back. We can't put the milk back in the container again. So I'm just wondering, is she going to be extra nasty, extra rude to Oscar, or will this be a situation where I'm just going to ignore it, act like it never happened, and we're going to move forward? Ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. I hope for more, but I mean, we were in a certain time, we over there. Thank you, Yolanda, for the $1.99 super
you.
chat. We appreciate you so, so much. Now, let's get on over here because I'm really eager to get into the story of it all. Give me just a second here. All right, let's go over Miss Brooke. And this picture is going to be in every slide with Miss Brooke because it epitomizes the way I felt about her by the end of this episode. Miss Brooke, I said, oh my goodness, I thought you had some sense this year. She doesn't. Doesn't. Now, while she was back to her progressive Marian that we met season 1, it was so short-lived, y'all. It was so short-lived. I was highly disappointed that this other nature overcame her because when I saw her interact with Oscar, get up and save face once she peeped what was really tea, I was like, okay, Marian, this is the Marian I know. This is the Marian I love. When we're in the suffrage meeting, I'm like, great, this is our girl. But when Larry comes back, and I have a slide for that, but when Larry comes back, it's like, girl, you just reverted. You just said, let me be 2 years old again. I don't want to hear it. Just because I'm pure in snow doesn't mean I don't know what happens there. You were slinging ding-a-ling, sir. I know it. I don't believe you. I'll send the ring back. You don't have to come see me at the schoolhouse. Girl, please find a clue. And it's beyond. As soon as I want to like her, she pisses me off all over again. Tyra, talk to me about Miss Brooke this episode.
I was so disappointed in Miss Brooke, and we'll get to this moment with Oscar because the way I was so proud, I was like, yes, Miriam, show us your worth because it's been lost upon us for quite some time. It was so beautiful, and I was so happy that she stood up when she did because, baby, if you didn't, I didn't know where we were going to go and how we were going to come back from it. But all of this stuff with Larry, I was so disappointed. I thought her issue was she just thought all along that he was as pure as the driven snow as she was, and it was disappointing to find out otherwise. It was like, oh, you were just kind of harboring on this one moment. Like you knew everything before, but this, I was like,
This thing.
what is your issue? The childish way that she went about this and using Ada as a vessel in this, and I have to come to your job to confront you, and then you still don't, even allow me to be heard. If I was Larry, girl, and you know how I feel about Larry, I would have told her where to go real quick because this is not someone that I want as a partner or a wife or anything. This was extremely immature, and I don't know. I don't know why she would react in this way. It was a real strong disposition to have her be so thoughtful with Oscar, even though it was a more intense, of course, heightened situation, but then handle who's supposed to could be the love of her life in such a careless way for such a childish reason. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, because that was my question. It was like, how can you be so emotionally intelligent in the 1880s, so much so that you're willing to accept your cousin down no matter what? Like, no, I don't understand it, but I'm willing to learn, to overhear this man that you're so enraptured by, which they weren't selling that on her side at all.
You know what pissed me off when I threw my little Roku remote when she said, "Oh, I just rather be a spinster." I was
Girl,
like,
I have a
why
slide for
would you
that.
say that to Ada? I will hurt you in here.
I have a slide for it, Tyra, because she pissed me off with that one, girl. Because how is you cool? Marian is so, like, that's what I'm saying. But maybe that's indicative of who we are as people. In certain situations, we can be mature and self-actualized. And then on the other side, we can just be a 5-year-old. TNT Bandit, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. And she was so childish in the cutest dress. The dress was fine. The look was fine.
She looked so good this episode. Every episode, who's gonna dress the best is always gonna be her. That's never a problem.
Never. We're going to get to it. Now we have the Russells, honey. 2 ships passing in the damn night. You know that he's there doing everything he can do. She's fresh back from the castle, I'll call it. And she wants to know, after the results of the whistle down papers of the book that McAllister has released, we need to present a united front, George. This affects you as well. Oh, do you know what's happening? We're broke, and I'm trying to figure it out. Are we on our way to a poorhouse, George? I can't handle this. Listen, get out of my face. I'm leaving here. I'm just trying to figure out life right now. I need you to get out of my face, Bertha. You're so unimportant. You're so irrelevant, and there's nothing you can do for me right now, so your usefulness is ran out. I'm going back to the club, and so is my son. You're going to end up here alone. At this point, be done with it. I mean, we know the events of the end of the episode, and I fear that's going to draw them closer together, which I hate. But I'm pleased with this because move out completely. Like, let's start sorting the assets. I'm over it. I'm over these Russells. As much as I have fought beard that connects on both sides for a very long time. We have been fighting this whole season, right? Ups and downs. One thing I will not deny is that this man is fine down. And I'm not ready to lose him, Tyra. All right? Our husband is about to leave us, Tyra, and I'm not ready for it.
You want
I
to
need
wear
him to be here. I don't care how manipulative he is, how weak-willed he is, all about that blood magic. I need the beard that connects on both sides to be here at the end of this season, standing up and walking, not in a state on a slab somewhere. I need him up, mobile, and healing, Tyra. Talk to me about these Russells. Where you at?
He's fine. They ain't trying to take these Russells through hell. Y'all want us to think they getting divorced so bad, don't you? Don't you, writers? They want us to think that it's the end. Girl, the way George said, my mama told me to tell you, mind your mother business. Girl, get your ass on it. I was, oh my God, he gritted his girl. Sort of God.
That's the first time I've seen her scared. She said,
if you don't get out of here with that high polite society bullshit, girl, I got serious matters at hand. I will hurt you in here, Bertha. I was like, oh my God, Bertha, please gather your caboose and get your ass out of there. It was extremely intense, really great acting. But I think that regardless of how he feels now, they work and they fit. They deserve each other in a sense. Like, where are we going? I think that we're having all of this chaos just to think that we're on the brink of could we lose George Russell? Could Bertha? Could she like? I don't think it's going to get to that, but I think this is something to really have them recalibrate what's really important and what's at stake in their relationship aside from these parties and the money and this. Yeah, you could have been gone. Let me cherish my husband and my family. But it was the intensity for me. So girl, if you don't get it was the like if you don't get your mother get yours. Oh my God. Bertha, please just leave now. Oh my God.
and I hear y'all saying y'all feel bad for Bertha. I feel no sympathy for Bertha being ignored by the men folk. Because we know it's not how it had to be, and we can't blame it on misogyny because he's always listened to his wife up until her deceit. So I can't even say that, oh, he's just a misogynist and he's no. This is this is chickens coming home to roost and reaping what she's sown. Right, in my opinion, because Bertha can go kick rocks immediately with open toe shoes on. I still can't stand her. Nothing will make me like her. Tyra, Gladys is working her feminine wiles. Hector said, listen, damn the money. Damn the money. You put something so good on me last night, it doesn't even matter. Listen, when he got the telegram or the letter, the post-it, whatever it was, and it said, hey, I don't have your allowance this month, and I might not ever have it. He said, oh, don't worry about it. Gladys gives me all I need. Sister Cersei said, oh, you got to find a way to send her back. How about I'm not? How about I'm not? I found my sweet thing, and I like it. Gladys is walking into her own. Do I say that this is... I have to suspend belief just a bit. I do, Tyra, because I don't think she got it overnight. I don't, but it's cute. And I'm a ride with it because I love the show. But I don't believe it happens just like this. But I'm happy. I'm happy the Duke is showing interest, and she puts up on him. She learned a trick or two because he has a totally different countenance, Tyra. Talk to me about the Duke and Gladys.
I said, "Oh, y'all really trying to redeem old Bertha? Like, see, it was all for nothing. You see how happy they are, and he over here gritting his teeth, telling Bertha to get her funky ass out the office. Bertha did a good thing. It's okay, like anything to have a little redemption arc for Bertha. No, but I told you, I felt like it was old Sister Cersei, and it wasn't him. He maybe was gonna, have some type of affinity, but it's beyond that, child. They have grown overnight. They have grown overnight. And I will say Gladys looked really nice this episode. I was like, look, Gladys looks nice. This gown is gorgeous. She don't look like it's Crimson Peak in there and it's, a witch or a haunted ghost mansion. She looked very nice and she was really standing in her womanhood. And I was like, oh, this is what we needed. And I told you, if he happened to fall by the wayside and under his sister's spell just a little bit, it was gonna waver. But the fact that he stood by her, it made all the difference. And now she's like, you know what? This is my house, girl. Go on down to London. See, absolutely.
I love it. I love it. We're gonna get into that too, because I was like, Sister Cersei, you thought, Gladys said I got something for you that maybe you haven't done yet, because I still think it's incestuous, but nothing's confirmed. This is all my machinations, so we're not gonna dive deep into Sister Cersei.
Please, it takes you so many places.
Larry is back in town and the deal is done for a small fee. Tyra, he has handled everything and rescued the Russell fortune. However, he is in despair and chaos because the love of his life has left him a Dear John letter and he doesn't know what to do. He said, something must be wrong. What you do? Bertha, you did it. Larry is turning out maybe not to be the degenerate you guys convinced me he was. I will.
That was our fault.
Yes, because I was on his side for a very long time. But then when he went to the house of ill repute and he was so familiar with the hookers and the little boxers, it really gave me pause. But now seeing that the stories line up, maybe I was wrong. Maybe he's not ill-built. And he didn't profiteer fully on the copper, on the land. So maybe Larry is still good. Tyra, talk to me about Larry. Where you at? Because, I mean, you were really pushing the narrative. So much so I started to believe.
Oh, blame the messenger.
Yeah.
I'm still pushing. Now, look at here. Y'all not going to spread it on my cracker because you did. You told me Larry wasn't ish, and I rolled with it as I should have. Now, just because he didn't sleep with the women of ill repute on that night doesn't mean we weren't frequenting and sleeping with them women on multiple other occasions along with anybody else that he saw fit. But this particular night, now that I'm in cahoots with you, Marian, I did no such thing. I told the truth. I wasn't too much harboring on that. I didn't think that he did anything that night because he was so wrapped up in seeing old girl. It was none of that. Yeah. But I was happy to see him bring the deal home. He didn't try to capitalize on that moment and take anything for himself. He brought it home to the family. I was like, okay, all right, Larry, that's good to see. And you're going to look really good this episode with the way that Marian went about things. We have no choice but to make Larry look like the done one, look like a victim, look like an all innocent. It was just like, oh, girl, can you please just hear Larry out? It is very that, but they were setting Larry up for me to be a trash box, and I'm not going to renege on anything I said. It's great to know that he isn't that much of a trash box, and he does, he has some great tendencies and some qualities about himself that haven't been rubbed out by those Russells. Yeah, I'm going to bring the money home and let you know about the copper and fix the family. And I'm also going to do my due diligence and not just accept this. Marian, you're going to talk to me. I was here for that. I was absolutely here for that. But let's not act like them legs was crossed. What'd you say? Let's not act like there was a nickel between Larry's knees. It was never a nickel.
He was doing that. We knew that. But was he, while he's been, enraptured with Lady Marian?
No, and that's what I thought. I didn't think that with Marian for that whole time. I thought that she was just feeling like Larry's innocence or what she thought he was corrupted. I was like, he's been that the whole time. He's not a virgin, Marian. We knew that. She acted like she didn't know. That was the thing for me. Oh, she was just hovering on this one time. Girl, the least you could do is hear him out. I don't know. I thought that was weird, but virgin, we are not.
She said, every man in my life has hurt me. We'll get to it. Carpolina, y'all owe big Bertha and never. It's stuck. It's up. It's stuck forever.
They tried to give Bertha this sympathy arc just because old George said, get out of my damn face, Bertha. That does not mean that we owe her an apology. Just because it so happened they come full circle, and it's just the happiest thing over there with Gladys. That does not mean that we owe Bertha any type of leverage or an apology or she was right all along. No, ma'am. Trash.
We have been. He cares for her. Like I said, I always thought he was a good man, but I was convinced when he went into that
Oh,
house with repute and he was so familiar. I was like, oh,
but
he's
that
a good.
doesn't change anything. He was familiar because he frequented. He was sleeping with those women of ill repute and any other person he wanted to. It's just changed now because I never thought that he slept with the women on that night or he cheated on Marian. I
Yeah.
thought Marian was under the perception of like he hadn't slept with anybody, and you made me think that you were something that you weren't. No, you knew about all those other times. You're just upset at this moment. You felt like he was cheating on you and lying about it. Marian,
Yeah.
grow up. But he was down with the irreputers. Excuse me?
He was. I mean, he was very familiar. But let's get into it, you guys. The events of last night's episode. So we discover, and I'll just set it up because I don't have a slide for that. But he gets a call from John Adams' sister, who is his younger sister. They were the closest of all of the siblings, and they sit down to talk, and very much like, so sorry for your loss, all of the things. And she says, "Listen, I love my brother. My brother loved me. And we didn't have no secrets. I kept his secrets and he kept mine. I know all about you, Oscar. You went to that beach house, remember? Y'all used to go to the beach house. Well, my brother always was thinking of you. And he wanted to make sure that you had that beach house in, Livingston. And it's going to be, all the expenses are paid for the next 5 years. That gives you time to get on your feet." She says, "Listen, we couldn't do it officially through the paperwork, through the courts, because, we don't need any questions. But I knew who my brother was, and I know who he loved, and I knew what his wishes were. And he made sure you were provided for." And Oscar says, "No, I can't. I can't take that." She says, "No, but you will. You will. And also, here's a picture of you and him side by side that he kept. I thought you would want this. I know what he meant to you, and I know what you meant to him. Baby, Oscar, after this point, ain't no good. Oscar ain't no good." And I said, when he walk in this house, y'all better leave him alone. Don't say nothing to him, Agnes. How are you? How you expect me to be?" Agnes said, "Don't talk to your auntie that way." He said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" He said, "Listen," and it commences, y'all, which y'all told me they wasn't going to do because it's 1880. And I told y'all Julian Fellows is going to take you down through there. He said, "Listen, I should have been in the front seat of that funeral. Not like I just walked in off a stranger on the street in my rightful place. How you want me to feel? My friend died. This was my best friend in the world. The only somebody who loved me." Marian said, "Hold on. Yes, how would you feel, Aunt Agnes, if you were in this situation and this man came in and saved you and saved your business and invested in you? You'd be devastated as well." Oscar, going upstairs. When I tell you, Ada, Agnes, Marian, gobsmacked. Like, oh, this was, because Agnes gonna say some slick stuff. Like, why would he give that to you? Why would he give you a house over? That doesn't make any sense. Maybe because he loved me, mama. Y'all, performance of the series. This would, like I said, chef's kiss. Everybody in the room, even Marian, acted down. The gasps. Ada said, "Oh no, oh Oscar, what's happening, baby? Like, are you?" He said, "Oh, is you cool? Leave me alone." I was like, this is what I've been wanting from you, Oscar. This was so beautiful. Like, because you feel not only, of course, the grief and the sadness, but you feel the angst and like it's fully emoted, the idea that I've been living my life in secret, so much so that I can't even fully grieve the man that I love. The only somebody in this world who knew me and loved me for who I was. I can sit here and I can't even cry in front of y'all. I can still not even reveal my full self to my family. This, baby, when I tell you they captured it, Tyra, go on, talk to me, because I'll keep going.
Girl, it was giving Holiday Heart. He said Fletcher. He gave me Fletcher. I thought he was gonna bust out his "baby love, I need you." I said, "Oh my God, come on, Oscar." Oscar was acting down when she said, "Girl, first of all, he's a good man. He's just in a bad situation right now, and he's trying to get out of it. He's a good man, Savannah. John Adams is the ultimate man of the century in the show.
You hear me?
Incredible. Thought about you, and oh my God, it was a beautiful moment. I was like, oh my goodness, where are the John Adams of the world? Send them back into the universe and catch one, girl.
That's what I'm saying. Not even an old man. John Adams is a relatively young and good man. Still made
Left him
arrangements.
down. Kept it. I keep a picture on my mirror. Start the blush when somebody says your name. Girl, he had the picture. Said, I'm gonna have you set up, give you this house. And I'm also gonna have it set, for 5 years. Let you decide, I was like, oh, when he said I can accept even the sister. I love that we had somebody come through. I knew what it was. I understand what it is now. He wanted you to have this. I love him and I love you too.
Jesus.
Oscar, girl, when he came in this house, first of all, before when we left out the house, Agnes being Agnes had the nerve to sit there and say, oh, men don't have emotions. He doesn't have any real emotions. They don't feel these things. Yeah, this whole episode just represented a change, just a change culturally for everyone. There's a shift that's about to happen for everybody here in the show. Like the universe is just changing. We live in this Gilded Age. Ciao. When Oscar leaned in and was it was like riveting. Like it had this hint of sincerity, but also a little terrifying. I was like, oh my God, Oscar, what are you about to do? Oscar, please. Like what do you want me to be? I can't cry. I can't be too vulnerable. I can't be silent. And just leave me alone. Like when he was about to let the news out,
girl,
and everybody kind of oh God, girl, let me get up out my seat. Like, yes, get up out your seat. Okay, get up out your seat. Marian, if you ain't never got up out your damn seat before, this was the perfect time for you to not be a dumb blonde. Girl, I love it. This was the perfect time for you not to be Snow White. She finally understood. I understood the assignment. You would be upset if blank, blank, blank too. And the fact that Ada came right behind her, absolutely, because I would have, that was so great, girl. Let them that whole property. Ain't that some boyfriends to do that for you, won't they? Let him go on up there. We'll send supper up for you. Everybody understood and stood up for him. Oscar has been such a kind of not so much a dull character, but he's so disenfranchised because I'll never be able to live my truth. So the best that I could ever do is maybe dupe someone and just figure this whole thing out because I can't be me forever. And I also can't be with John Adams or anybody else. And he's shown no emotion. The most emotion we've seen him give is, of course, prior to the death and the other things that's happened here. It's just in the fact of I lost that money. That was that main thing. Or him just being suck and sullen and kind of down and really depressed and just really dark. He doesn't really say much. He doesn't really do much. And when he showed up and decided, like, okay, I'm going to speak now, I almost wanted him to say the whole thing. But I love that it caters to this era. And they understood it without him having to express it in that way. I don't have to say it outright. I got it. Hell, all three of us got it. Maybe going upstairs. And when she went up there and she held him and he kind of understood, even though Miriam said for the most part, I may not understand everything, but I know enough of the nuances to understand what's going on here. And I still love you the same, Oscar. Letting him know there's still a possibility for life if you happen to live in your truth. Like nobody's going to just completely ice you out, especially not me. I was like, oh, Oscar, please. If you ever needed to show up, Oscar, this was the time to do it. And you were brilliant in the scene along with everybody else. It was great.
Shout out to Blake Ritson. Like I said, I didn't even know he was capable of all this over here. How he been these first 2 seasons. I was gobsmacked. Artha, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I hope they aren't working their way up to a suicide. Oh, they better not. They better not. No, I just started liking them. Don't do that. Don't play games with my emotions. Thank you, TNT Bandit, for the $2 super chat. The way Marian said, get up them stairs.
Get up them stairs. Marian got up. I love that because, Marian can see, and we see it later on, even in the scenes. Marian can be such a ditz and just say the wrong things at the wrong time. And she didn't. I was like, thank God Marian came around because, Lord, if you had messed this up, I would have came for your neck.
No, absolutely. TNT Bandit, thank you again for the $2 super chat. Blake Oscar said, give me the Emmy, the Golden Globe. Give me all
these are the shows that get bypassed. People see this, they act like they put them right on over there with our babies from Interview with the Vampire. Did you not see the scenes? Like, do not play with Oscar or anybody in this moment. And I love it because even with the subtlety and nothing being said, you could tell everything as far as Oscar's life kind of flashed before Agnes's eyes, and she was like, "Okay, well that explains X, Y, and Z, and why
Everything.
you've never blank, blank, blank." Oh my God! I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, it was tea spilled. It was a revelation. It was a revelation in more than one way. And I will say this. I say now, this was the performance of the series up to this point. Out of all
great."
3 seasons, this was hands down the best performance. And we still got Felicia Rashad and Audra McDonald over here. So I'm still, I mean, there could be more. If this is what they're giving us in the penultimate episode, ugh.
Bring it
But
back.
Marian's heart, honey, listen. And Tyra touched on it, but when we got up in that room and she said, "Baby, cry into my bosom. I'm here for you." He said, "You won't." He said, "If you knew the truth, you wouldn't love me. Who could love me?" And I'm like, "Oh, Oscar." I think Marian and I think John Adams' sister are going to be Oscar's saving grace in this season, because this isn't going to be something he can just brush under the rug. I do like it now that he does have the property that he can go to, which we discover. Agnes says, our family owned this land for hundreds of years now, right? So there is a tie to the Van Ryn name and that property as well. I'm hoping he can get away. I'm hoping maybe he can get away and just take some time. Remember the moments they had. I am not going to buy into a self-harm situation with him. I don't need that. I don't want that over here. I think
No, because if
we
we
need to.
do that and we've already lost John Adams, and even to this day, with how even as progressive that shows have to be, they have that trope of murder your gays, murder your trans, murder your you have to die. Can we not? We're not doing that. We already lost John Adams. You have to suffer for your profane. Like, no, we're not doing those tropes here. Let Oscar live. What I would love to see is a nuanced moment between him and Agnes to where it's kind of understood and it doesn't have to be explained, because Agnes isn't going to say it outright, but do know, son, you're still my son no matter what, and I love you. I want some of that. That's what I want.
Let's hope and pray. And let's hope Marian keeps this same energy with him. Again, like I said, I would like it if he gets away and he goes to the beach house and he's like, I'm a homeowner now, right? Let me start my life and let me, do what I want to do out there from under the thumb of Auntie Ada and Agnes, right? I think that would be amazing for him. But again, Marian got all the points and then lost them in a couple scenes, child. Now, let's get over here with McAllister, and I'm gonna call him the first Capote. Now, Tyra, what you know about Truman Capote and his swans? Do you know anything about the people?
A little bit, just a little piece. I remember.
So basically, Truman Capote was an author, but also a real part of like the New York waspy scene with all of the elite wives and women. And what he did, he actually wrote an article for a magazine. So not a book like McAllister, but basically aired out all they tea, honey, all the dirty laundry, because he was the gay best friend. He was the ornament. He was the purse that they wore and told all their business to, similar to McAllister, right? And so Truman Capote spilled all their tea and everyone turned on him. He was exiled from popular society. There's a great show by, what's our guy who does all the cruddy stuff? Ryan Murphy did Feud.
All the cruddy stuff.
Capote I think it's Capote and his swans or something like that. Anyway, go watch it. There's a book. But anyway, McAllister, I liked how we kind of got that, comparison there. It really was a callback to that for me. But McAllister was apparently the first one, because apparently the real story is that a man did write a book about society and aired out everybody's secrets. And now he has got to be exiled. It's excommunicado for him. He can't come into any of the parties. He can't do anything, right? And so he confronts Miss Astor because that was his ace. That was the one, the most elite of them. And of course, he wrote the truth about her and her daughter being, a soiled woman, I'll say, and basically has the conversation of, no, you're done. We see the meeting initially, Ada's hosting it, all of the women, Miss Fish is there. He said, my husband brought cheap wine. Everybody has kind of these petty things. And Miss Astor, he's talking about her daughter. He says, I am society. Y'all didn't know anything about English manners. You guys were just a bunch of wealthy merchants. You were a bored woman whose man couldn't lead a hose alone, is what he said to Miss Astor. She turned her back and said, McAllister, get out my house. He said, listen, I'm not done here. I built y'all. I told you how to dress. I told you how to decorate, and I told you how to throw your parties. That's not enough. Later in the episode, we hear him talk to Bertha, who now is going to be hosting the Newport Ball, where he says, she says, why did you do this? And he says, I wanted regular people to know that the elites and the wealthy were the same. Right? People are just people are just people. And she's like, well, why would you throw your friends under the bus? Tyra, what do you think of McAllister's book? And what do you think of him just thinking his reception and invitation into polite society was still going to be there after airing everybody out?
Girl, I love the book. And where you went over there with Cruddy, I was like, you better give us your Philip Seymour Hoffman moment. Okay. That's where I went with that Capote. That's the Capote I saw. I haven't seen that version of Ryan Murphy or whatever you watched. But I love the moment in the Polite Society book. It was so reminiscent of The Help when that book dropped. I was like, oh Lord, Skeeter didn't drop the book. It was giving me The Help. It was a really great moment and refreshing it's oh god, it's just so great and reminiscent of something like a Gilded Age, because from reading it now, it's some of the most tame things, but just then it was like, oh god, he said what? That we have cheap wine. I was like, oh my goodness. Like it was very, 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 very subtle when you really think about it. But just to them, it was everything, because it's all about putting on airs, and this is a secret, and we're always best foot forward. We don't want people to know these things. It was great. Him and the way he just really thought, like, I thought he had a plan. I thought he had a plan. I put this book out, and I don't care if I ever get invited to the ball again. It was just like, no, well, I'm still going to be here. I'm still him. No, you're not. Did you really think that these people were going to just keep you into the fold for you to write part 2 of your book? For you to, expose us even more? No, we don't want to be anywhere near you. And then we considered you a friend, and we let you in on some of our innermost, deepest situations, and you use them for your not. Like, no, I don't want you here. This little standoff here was everything. He already got denied at the function. That was cute. It's like, how you gonna argue from outside the club and you can't even get in? That was cute. But when we got here, and it was like, oh my God, you sure y'all friends? Are you sure you guys are friends? Because baby, you was waiting to say that with your whole chest, weren't you, McAllister? Like, girl, you were a scrub before I met you. Your husband didn't give a damn. I was, oh my goodness, kick me while I'm down. That was really hard. This was such a great moment. Everybody's just acting down. I love everybody here. These are such seasoned actors, so it's really effortless. But I feel like we don't see this anymore, and it was just really, really, really amazing to see. And just that moment and that revelation of, we can't go back, not even our friendship, it'll never be the same. And then this was really hard for her, because for lack of a better situation, this has been the man in her life, because her husband is so absentee. Mm-hmm. So you've been my man, you've been my best friend, you've been a lot of things, and I have to just completely let you go because of what you did and said about me in your book. Like, this isn't okay. I thought the scene was just really, really exceptional. But yeah, you won't be invited back into this house. Girl, when it was like, I'm getting in this house, and he just barged into the house. It's just, I just love how this was meant to just be so salacious, and it's just so like subtle and just so safe. But I thought this was really, really good. And the dress, I love this gown on her too. I thought it looked great.
It was so good. It was so good. And I'm very interested now more about the contents of the book, because we do hear Armstrong, and I got a slide for that. Who knew she was a gossip? And she got the book on deck. She's reading it fully, and she's like, yeah, there's some stuff they said about Astor, but I don't quite understand it. So I want to know everything in the book. I'm like, what does it say about Oscar? I'm sure that people haven't gotten through the whole book yet, and will probably still be getting remnants into the finale. Thank you so much, TNT Bandit, for the $5 super chat. McAllister pulled the best man Gilded style with that damn book. Listen, I don't know what he was.
I heard you. That took me out when, I said it would be Armstrong. She, of course, would be here for the mess and the gossip. But when she mentioned Oscar, I was like, girl, please don't play with me. Like, you put Oscar in it? What did you say about Oscar? Don't play with me, McAllister. Like, oh, girl, beat him up on a dirt road on the street. Because don't do that. Don't expose us in this way. You went that far, all in the name of, polite society is just like anybody else. And who gonna check me, boo? Because I am society. I made you, and I can break you. Boy, get out of here. You had too much dip on your chip, and you realized it too late. Now you can't get in.
Yeah, we're gonna see though, because he does have an interesting conversation with Bertha later
Okay.
in the episode. So I mean, he might be, Now again, we're over here. Sister Cersei, big mad because Cinda back, Cinda home, but ultimately, Tyra, love conquers all, and we kind of already touched on the Duke and Gladys and her feminine wiles. But there's one thing we didn't talk about that I do want to talk about, which was Sister. We're going back to the ball in Newport. What are you going to be doing during that time? What do you mean? I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here in the estate. He said, well, why don't you go? Why don't you go to London? Like, why don't you? Yeah, I think you know what? Actually, it's just better. Why don't you go to the other house? And you just, keep house there and everything. Oh, I bet she put you up to this. Gladys, you agree with him? Well, I hate that you're stressed and worried about taking care of us. I just want you to have a little bit of fun. I just want you to have fun. And so, again, at this point, we see the allegiance has turned. Sister Cersei is on the outs, and Gladys is on the inside. And I do believe we will be seeing them at the ball for the finale. Tyra, talk to me. Talk to me about it.
Girl. Once again, I do think that this was meant to be a part of the redemption of Bertha, because why even be mad at Bertha if they are actually falling in love anyway? If it's all about how we got there. So we're still going to have that smoke, but I am glad that we are not being forced to watch her suffer and it's just so long out and drawn. I like that he shifted and he's realizing, kind of standing, they're kind of growing together. It feels like this is the first time he's taking a look at himself and his manhood and the type of man he wants to be and the ruler or the king he wants to be. I can't do that with my sister by my side. I could never do that. And the way that he's just really taking a liking, not just in a sexual way or just some type of prowess or I own you. No, it's like, I really care about your mind. You are really smart. And I see the light that your mother was telling me about. Yeah, I can't really see that fully if my sister is here. So, girl, you pack your stuff. It was polite, but it was, yeah, don't be here when I get back. Don't be here when I get back, especially when she was trying to read her, like, oh, so she's going to show you guys off what she's inviting you to. But like, yeah, do you think that would be the only reason that my mother would want us home?
Yeah.
Like, girl, don't be cute. Don't be
play.
cute about the situation. But when it was like, yeah, London looking real nice. I need you to go see about a horse and a man. Well, how do you feel? Do you feel like, I bet you're, well, yeah, I don't want you here, wasting your life away. You need to get out and have some fun. Get out of our house in the most polite way. I thought it was great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, X-Men superfan Emma Frost, for the 100 ARS super chat. The carriage death could have been for Mrs. Armstrong or Mr. I would have been satisfied with either one of those.
Oh, Mrs. Armstrong serves no purpose. She can go. I really thought Armstrong was going to be such a like an enigma of a character, and we would see so much in her from that first season when we saw the dynamic with her mother. I thought it was going to be totally different, and then so far it's just, no, we want her here in this capacity. Child, if she's just going to be the Grinch that stole Christmas every episode, she could have definitely got ran over by the carriage, honey.
Immediately, yeah. And I thought it was known, everyone knew that McAllister was same gender loving as well. That's what would have make it so cringe if he does
how would you do that
in the book, but we don't know yet. So I need to see the clips. I need to hear the people who have an understanding, because Armstrong said she ain't understand what he was saying, but we knew. We
what you got in there? She got that Wiki Kitty Cauldron cat just like her mother, because that's not the Duke that we had on down there in the New York. Because he was like, yeah, who's the highest bidder all the way to getting to this season? Maybe the money doesn't even matter. I want you here and I want you in general. Oh,
that's what he said. I said, oh, what happened to the people? I thought we needed this money. I need this money. I thought we needed this money, Tyra. He said, I'll take that coot nanny over the money, baby. You got something they can't offer. Gladys said, no, that's not right. You need to get this money. We need this money. I said, that's right, Gladys. You stand on big business. Because, of course, we know Russell wrote in and was like, I don't know if you'll ever get it at this point. And so, but it was nice to see Hector stand up. Now, easing on down the road to the Russell's house, the staff getting to the tea. And like I said, while this was a really excellent episode, there were things that were very, very predictable. This was one of them. We knew that Bertha's lady's maid was the culprit the entire time, but Mr. Church took it upon himself to be Sherlock Holmes in this moment, and he said, "Let me give you a little birdie. Let me give you a little word to this little bird, and see if it makes it into the paper." Sure enough, we got it. Packed her raggedy duffel bag and met her at the stairs when she returned. Said, "How much did they pay you? $40 every time they published a story. You did all that for $40? Listen, it's hard out here for a pimp. You know what? It's hard when you don't have the money for the rent, Tyra." She did what she needed to do.
Girl, she did. She said, "What would you do if your son was at home crying all alone on the bedroom floor because he's hungry?"
Only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money, and his daddy's gone, right? Like,
now, in and out of lockdown. I ain't got a job now.
what are we going to do? Listen, she said it was like that. Tyra, talk to me on Mr. Church and his Sherlock Holmes and the exposure of the lady's maid that we always knew was the culprit.
Yeah.
She was the mom.
Yeah, we knew it was her. I thought we were going to get a moment of seeing her actually link up or seeing her. I thought for a moment that she was going to be kind of in cahoots a little bit with McAllister. I wasn't sure about that, but it was just kind of her acting alone. I was here for Mr. Church. $40. It was very baby. He's $40. You sold us. I was like, well, you said for like $40 was a little bit of money. She said, baby, anytime one of those stories catches flight and goes to print, I get $40. I was like, child, $40 is $40 back then. Don't say it like it was a little bit of money, sir. $40? You sold us out for $40? Hell yeah. Sure, absolutely. But it was fun just to kind of go on this Sherlock journey with him. I will say I really do miss the moments of the chef and the other maid and kind of their courtship and what their relationship was and what we were kind of getting with their dynamic. I kind of want to get back to that. I would love to see some more of that. That was great. But this was cute, but it didn't help that we already knew that it was her all along. It was an aha moment for Mr. Church, but not for us.
Yeah, it was cute. And I love it when we get more interaction with the staffs at the downstairs in these shows. So I think that was cute. We always have a moment.
What I love that as what you can call Bertha, whatever you want to call her. And you would think with her like disposition, she would be the nastiest woman to her staff and anybody who she considers to be underneath her. I wish we got some more of the sister. Bring the sister back in the finale or the next season or whatever. I want that. But it's kind of a little energy of I've kind of been where you are, so I would never do that. And that would explain why she's so revered by them and so much respectability. And if we catch a rat in here, we're getting rid of it pronto. Her and her $40 is getting out of here. We would never disrespect you, and we're not going to allow anybody to do it. I love the way that her staff just stands by her so deeply.
Absolutely. And Bertha, for what it's worth, and I'm not a Bertha apologist. I can't stand the raggedy hoe in the first place. But I will say this. She does give dignity and respect to her staff always. She's like, no, I would never blame this for you. She all got under our skin. And I do respect the respect that she has for the people that serve her. That's special and that's important. Now, the Russell fortune saved for a small fee. Larry has done his big one, and now George can stop stressing. He was pacing. He was bucking up to Big Bertha, and now he's kind of at peace. He's like, now I can call J.P. Morgan Chase, and the deal will be back on the table, and then I can click on everybody who betrayed me and thought I was down for the count. Basically, George likes the gloat. Russell, he likes to stand up and give it back to people. But now he sees his railroad going forward. Larry delivers the wonderful news, but again, not for long, because I need to go see about Marian. Mr. Russell says, no, but we're going to deal with business first. We're going to deal with business first. And so we have that conversation. And again, Larry was on the up and up. He did what needed to be done. We got that new survey that showed the copper and find out that Clay really did need to get fired, but maybe not in the way that he did it. Tyra, talk to me about the Russell fortune being saved and Larry again coming in like a knight in this one.
I like this for Larry because the way I was waiting on him to architect. I was waiting on him to be the new up and coming architect on the scene and for that to be his gateway to make a name for himself. I think he's doing that, but he's also getting out of the shadow not so much in the public eye because it's still, kind of going back to the family, but at least with Daddy Russell, he's taking some stock and, hey, my son isn't just my son. He has, a business mentality about himself. It's, looking good. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for us, please. We would love that. Hit the like button if you haven't. We're really getting into just him as an access and a business partner, and not just so much, oh, that's just my son over there, Larry, he's going to come through in the clutch. Just like, no, I think after this, and it's not just being an asset in the way of you coming through in the clutch. No, you spotted something that I was paying somebody to spot and they looked over. Maybe I need to bring you a little bit more into the fold. And maybe I feel like this is Larry kind of cutting it close with the family business as well, because baby, I ain't heard nothing about an arc or nothing. I ain't heard no architect, no anything. I feel like he's just gonna maybe be more so on the entrepreneur side and maybe just business, because the way we kind of left from Jack and the Clock and now we're here, maybe that's his avenue where he maybe thought the being an architect was going to be that, and it isn't. But this situation here, I just thought this was really, really cute because the way he was sweating bullets, I thought the hair was gonna fall out of that beard. He was stressed out. I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I think he probably, was the last person that he thought would come through with any good news, let alone news that would pull you completely out of the hole in financial ruin. And it's just like, I can't really have anybody to turn to. At least on a good day, I would think I can turn to Bertha. I don't even want to turn to Bertha. I don't want to turn to anybody. It's my son. I like that we have this strong dynamic between the two, but it kind of has Bertha on the outskirts of the family, and that's not looking good. But we're cool because we're doing something. The whole J.P. Morgan situation and him firing that man, child, unless you have a slap for that.
I do. We're gonna get to it. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
believe
go
I
ahead.
do.
But I thought this was great, and he's seeing him in a new light. I think it's like, oh, this is not just Larry the son. This is Larry the business partner and the man.
Yeah, I would say that as well. And maybe I don't have a slide, so maybe let's talk about it here, because I do really feel like I agree with you. I think that at this point, Larry's more of like a venture capitalist. Maybe architecture is what he did just for school, but he's
Yeah.
finding that pursuing businesses, investing in different opportunities is going to be at the alley. But outside of that, he's just very thorough and very complete and very resolute in all of his dealings. And I love that for him. So yeah, what do you think about the JP Morgan situation and the Merricks? Now everybody's on deck, and it's really the perfect storm for this railroad.
I think it's great. I thought that the scene was like extremely intense. This episode did a really good job of injecting moments of intensity where you wouldn't really expect them to be any. But with the book and this whole theme of polite society, you expect people to be perceived and say a certain thing, even if they're thinking something. I'm not going to say that outright. I'm going to see, when you leave. Like, no, people are showing their hands this episode. It was given, I'll punch you in the face. It was very like, never count me out. You were useless all along. I was right to fire you, my son. It was very dynamic. And that man, it was like it was giving Get It Back in Blood and payback. Like, what you're not gonna do is also discard me and call me useless and kind of slow. And then I have this same man who was so happy to have me as a business partner and thought I was useful in the moment that I'm not. You also discard me in the same room with the same man who told me I could get out of his face. Oh, I'm coming back. I was like, it was giving revenge. It was moo ha ha ha. I was like, this is intense.
It was a recipe for disaster. He said, "How stupid can you be? You didn't get it."
Girl,
I was like, "Oh God, you do this
you
in front of each other? Like they didn't give a damn." Yeah, you're
girl.
inept. I did what any businessman would do. I was like, Clay, just
But it
you know.
is I don't know. It also makes me concerned for George still. I think this whole experience, especially when we get to the ending, he has no choice but to kind of change. But this is another moment where he really didn't have to sweat for too long. Something's always coming through. Like, is this going to make you kind of be settled and move smarter as a businessman with your assets? Or is it going to be, well, yeah, I did it that first time. And then that second time, let me push it to the limit again. Like, how are you going to move next time, George?
Yeah, that's the question. We're gonna see if George makes it. Damn it, golly! X-Men superfan Emma Frost, thank you so much again for the 100 ARS. Would you like Oscar to have a new love interest in the next season? If so, would you like a historical character or a fictional one, Tyra?
Ooh, I like the fictional one because you have to kind of try to stick to certain accuracies when you get a historical person. I think it kind of limits where you can go and what you could do. and the sycophant somewhere in the back going, that never happened, why would you? Nope, just a whole like clean slate. I think that would be great. I want to know what Oscar looks like out of this. I really would love to see Oscar in that house living his best life.
Yeah.
That would be nice, and that's just to see a completely different side. Because, like I said, he's been so surly and down, and woe is me, and are you going to give me an allowance and just whatever. He's just been so sad. I would like to see him think that he didn't leave for kind of what we're getting with Ada. He didn't die in vain or for nothing. This is my opportunity to live in my truth. Like he was planning to all along, even if it's with someone else. He would want this for me. I would like to see that for Oscar.
Absolutely. I would too. We've seen Oscar get himself in some precarious situations trying to get some dingling. I do not want to see that happen again. I don't want to see him beat up, banged up in an alley or worser. But if he could naturally evolve into a situation, that would be cool. But I'm really a fan of seeing Oscar navigate this new season differently than he has before, with like renewed purpose, right? Because I'm doing this maybe for John Adams now. He saw everything in me that was good. So maybe now I can really be a demonstration of that. And hopefully as a result, he can find some love outside of that. But I do not want Oscar engaging in risky behavior. I don't want to see him in no alleyways or bathhouses. I don't want to see anything of the sort from him next season. Please don't do that, y'all. A lot of people are actually making statements saying that he's going to get close to Miss Russell, or what was the one that was the maid? I can't remember her name, but now she's in society as well. That he's going to be kind of like a McAllister going forward. So
I know what you're talking about.
It'll be interesting.
We can't remember her name because we haven't seen her. The way I thought she was going to play such a big Turner, I thought Turner was going to play such a big role this season, and we have not seen her at all. Crazy.
No. So now let's get over here to the people, child. Let's get on over here. Mama Kirkland is sitting down talking to Leslie Uggams. Leslie look good. Y'all look good. The costume look good. The hair look good. Y'all look good. And it's just, I mean, these are icons. These are legends. These are the moments on the screen. And so we're sitting here, we're talking about Peggy and Dr. Kirkland and his prospects. And listen, I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised that your son, Dr. Kirkland, found interest in Peggy, knowing her past. So it was like, Mama Kirkland said, slow down 10 speed. What are you referring to? What past? I knew she was sullied. I knew she was spoiled, but I didn't know how. I knew she wasn't for my child. Yeah, she had a baby that was adopted out and the baby died. And yeah, it was a spectacle. And they say she was married, but I don't know. I didn't see a ring. I don't know. But surely Dr. Kirkland knows this. Surely you do. No, he doesn't. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Let me get my train ticket because my son needs to know urgently. I've never seen Mama Kirkland move this fast. She said, I knew
it was gone.
I knew it. Gone. And I'm on my way. And I said, this is Pony Express days. This is 1880 something. How are you I'm on my way. Where's my ticket? Honey, and when she gets out the carriage with her black manservant, chocolate goodness, and walks up to the practice. Is my son here? Dr. Kirkland, I need to talk to you, son. Anyway, Tyra, talk to me about this exchange and why folks gotta be messy.
She was waiting. It was very Darkwing Duck, girl. She said, say less. She did one of these and backed out. I was like, girl, where are you going? Phantom of the Opera? Where are you going? She's like, I'm out of here. It was like, and she was gone. It was magic. She was a puff of smoke went up. And
not a whirling dervish.
She was gone. I was like, Lord, she is moving with haste, ain't she? Child, I'm gonna say this. You know when it's some culture behind the camera and behind the writer's room and behind when there's some people there. Because if it's people there, people who have been in the industry, they're gonna know to reach out to a Leslie Uggams and a Felicia Rashad. They're gonna know. We would never see them, certain people here in certain capacities. Cause it's like, oh, let's reach out. Yeah, get the people here. Come on, Sally. I was happy to see them. They look great. Oh, But the little gossip in tea, because we thought that she was going to do it on her own, like she was going to hire somebody and get the news and find out who Peggy really is. No, it was just town gossip. Like everybody knows. Everybody knows, baby. Everybody knows already. I'm just surprised. It was like, oh, she found the holy grail. She got the precious and did her little cape and got her ass out of there. Girl, it was very, I was like, girl, damn. It was very Siegfried and Roy, girl. She was gone. She was
Out
moving
of there.
post haste. Because I need to tell my son who she is. If I can do anything to get him further away from Peggy, baby, I'm going to do it. And you gave me a nuclear bomb. I was like, Lord. It was good. It was a good scene. It was a good scene. It was literally tea while they were sipping tea. It was cute.
It was. I was like, oh, this tea was piping hot and she was not wasting any time. It was like one of them cowboy movies, one of them westerns. Make haste. Come on.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, girl, if she would have, I could have, like, you moving, get off. She could have pushed the driver off the carriage. You're moving too slow. I got places to be. I need to save my son from them. No one mourns the wicked. We need to go post haste. Oh my God, Felicia. Nothing's going to change if you wait a couple seconds. Slow down, man.
My God, what in the world? Finally, to the suffrage of it all. We finally are getting to the plot as far as the women's rights to vote. Now, there always has been a thing, right? When we talk about feminism and the intersection of race and how feminism really was by all intents and purposes, a white movement. And so the same with suffrage, right? It was the right for certain women to vote during a certain time. And so I really like that we're kind of blending it here and diving in. I don't know how long this combined effort will last because we did have a lot of Black people who were on the side of a Mama Kirkland, which was like, let's first vote for our men to be able, let's support our men getting the right to vote and keeping it, right, before we involve ourselves in such matters. But again, Peggy is passionate about this. Marian is as well. And Ada, put on her big girl panties and said, this is my house now. And I said y'all could have it here. Agnes, we already know this is a cause she says that she's into as well. But really the first time they're sitting and hearing Peggy and Marian speak on the topic, what did you think of the suffrage meeting? And what did you think of Miss Foster hounding down Agnes? What is this all about? Is it about a donation or is there something more?
Girl, first of all, look at here, Marian. I was letting you make it because all you done for Oscar. You scratched his head out when he was ailing. I appreciated that. When she got over here, you got one more time to throw Mr. Fortune up in my face. Who, Mr. Fortune? God damn it. Marian, please. Every single time Peggy utters something. Well, actually, what about, your situation with Larry? Why? Wouldn't be like you and Mr. Fortune? Keep on, Marian. Keep on. I'm trying to, girl. But the suffrage meeting was great. So often, especially when we get into any predictions in film and television, there's always a clear line of separation, as if there was never any unity across the board. And we know for certain movements in certain places, there had to be some unity. Of course, we are going to always get the obliterate this racism and all of these things, and but it was really nice here to see some unison and people open doors where some would have closed them, and Ada go out of her way to go, well, hey, actually you guys can have it here, and to have everybody there in this unison and to hear this woman speak, it was nice. And I was so happy for Peggy. I knew it was going, the house was going to burn down soon, but I was happy for Peggy in this moment, and I was glad that Marian walked away. I thought for 5 seconds she was going to make that meeting about her. I said, girl, get out of here. Just, Lord, we can't have a piece over here to maybe think that Peggy's going to get married. And, she needs to have, some hopes up for Dr. Kirkland. He's a good man, Savannah, also. She's just like, oh, I can't. Go that way. Go over there in your closet, Marian. But goddamn Agnes, that's not about a donation. It's something else. She's hiding something. And I really want to know what it is.
Oh,
I really want to know what it is. I do not think the way that this lady was like, baby, I've been trying to track you down. I've called, I've sent letters. What about in the name and whose deed was on the... I don't know. They go over there. She said, well, too bad. I'm booked. I'm booked and busy. So sorry. Sorry to this man. I won't be able to be available for anything. I think she's hiding something. And if
Mm.
she's hiding something to the extent like even Ada doesn't know, because Ada was like, what's going on here? Like, what does this woman want? Girl, what are you hiding? I feel like there's some light in them their heels. I was very intrigued by the conversation. I didn't think that it was giving like, this lady's so aggy. I just don't want to be bothered. I really feel like Ada is hiding something.
Or Agnes, so Agnes is hiding
No,
something.
Agnes is hiding something. Yes, I feel like she's hiding something.
Oh, you think the family's like in debt or like, cause I was wondering if it was the other way. Like, is there like some secret property that she should have inherited or didn't get? Or, I mean, cause it is kind of like I'm avoiding you like the plague. And if it
Yeah,
was just about a donation, would it be that serious?
I don't think so. I don't think so. It couldn't have been like it is something. I don't know if it's I want to know what it is because we've been kind of getting this same note with Agnes this entire season. So to get here and she is really like, oh my god, like can you please? You went out of your way just to stay as far away from, and it could just be something so simple. I think that some floodgates are going to open because we had Ada this episode. She felt so much validation in the fact that all the ladies were there and such and such said that she appreciated me for having them over to my house and hosting this get together. And we have the tea here in the women's suffrage meeting. I think Ada might go out of her way to go, oh, my sister said, no, come, I'll do it. Let's talk a little bit. I think something's going to get exposed. I really do.
I'm here for it. I mean, and also we hear Agnes, which was again out of turn to say when she finds out about the property that Oscar is getting. She says, our family was in the, they owned property there for hundreds of years, and I'm like, why is that significant? They don't just throw stuff in here for no reason. It's all going to make sense at some point. So I wonder if there is some tie-in to all of it, especially now that John Adams has bequeathed his estate to Oscar. And again, we kind of touched on this already, but how do I love thee? Let me count the ways, darling. You listen, you're the sun and I'm the moon and you're the stars. I think about you when I'm not around you, baby. Like I miss you when you're not there. I need you in my life and all of the things, all of the beautiful words. But that's very, very short-lived. Why? Because she got there in 5 minutes. She got to the doctor's office in 5 minutes with her beautifully melanated manservant, and went in there and said, listen, I told you she was a hoe. I told you.
Girl, actually, please.
And she had a child. I don't know if the hoe was ever even married. She's soiled.
Girl.
She's sullied. She's a brazen hussy, and you can't marry her. He said, oh, God, I have to talk to her. You don't need to give her an explanation. You don't need to explain nothing to her. She's a hoe. Ain't no questions. She didn't tell you. I'm just saying mama's always right. He says, let me get out of here. I gotta go. I gotta go talk to Peggy. Tyra, what is Dr. Kirkland gonna do?
Girl, first I said, Marian, take notes because we owe this man. Larry, y'all take notes. This is a mature way to handle. We've been bombarded with some information that we didn't know. She went over there like boom. I told you she was trash. I told you. When I told you she was a woman of ill repute, I told you. She was already over there being a woman of ill repute, having children out of wedlock, being dark skinned. Get her ass away from the family. Damn. No, we will not Jack and Jill her. Absolutely not. She has to go. And this is validating every sense in my body that I had that she didn't deserve to be a part of our family and in our stock. Girl, who's like, yeah. But I was a little scared because Dr. Kirkland's voice got a little cracked. He's like, no, well, she's still a brilliant, classy woman, mama. I was like, stand on it, Dr. Kirkland. Stand on it. Hold the mule, Dr. Kirkland. Come on. We need you. And I was so happy that he didn't just take her words verbatim and, oh my God. No, I owe Peggy a conversation. I'm going to go talk to her and see what's going on. I just don't know. He looks so worried, like this changes everything. I don't leave Peggy, please. It's been such a great time. Please don't do this. I'm really hoping that he is progressive enough to really stand by her when he knows the full truth. And that, I was married. There was these things, my dad did such and such. Does that mean, I'm worthless now, or I can't stand by your side? Am I still the great, intelligent, magnificent woman that you were telling me I were on this picnic blanket, or what? He looks perplexed. But naturally, this is some news that was just thrown on him. I'm hoping when he hears Peggy out, it's not going to make a difference. If it does make a difference and he like tells Peggy, I can't, oh, I'm going to be so mad.
So here's the thing though, Tyra, it's all about packaging in this moment. I really feel like the fact that he was caught off guard by this, that his
Yeah.
mother presented the information is what's messing this up. Because honestly, even like I said, even if he wanted to live in his delusion, Peggy is a woman enough of the world to know my past is considerable. This is whatever man, a high value man. So, I'm just saying, like, I would rather present my faults to someone rather than them hearing it from someone else. I think that's the worst way. It does
Yeah.
speak volumes to his character that he does still want to have a conversation with her and see her face to face. However, I don't know. This is going to be very, very hard because his mom has this tea. She's going to use it as a weapon. So it's almost like the shame of it not only is going to bring shame, I guess, to him, but what else could it do to the Scott family, especially not knowing the full truth, unless we get a situation where it's presented the full story and really how tragic it was, and we find out that Mama Kirkland has a heart of compassion. I
Hmm.
really doubt that'll ever happen.
I don't even think she was married. I don't even think she was married, son.
That's what
She
she
was just out
said.
here laying it low. She was over there acting like Evelyn Brax, out there laying it low and spreading it
Spreading
wide
it
when
wide.
everyone hanging around Brooklyn. Ma'am, please. I have not enjoyed hating Felicia Rashad. But I just feel like so much of this episode in this season, it was just so significant and signified change. I feel like he's about to tell her, like, no, mom, I'm bringing Peggy home. Get used to it. I feel like he's gonna stand by her. I really do. Everything's just kind of progressing in leveling up. The suffrage meeting, the situation with Oscar, all of that. Larry, it was just it's giving new. I don't see him walking away from her at this point. I think he really loves her.
I do. But like his mama said, listen, like his mama said, my son doesn't want a spoiled woman. Like, she already had a child. Like, that was just like the end
Girl.
all. I don't know if he's strong enough to stand against scandal. Again, because reputation was so important, especially for his profession. I'm just like, we think that it was, white society was something, honey. Black society was something, honey. You ain't never been shamed until you've been shamed by black society. So I'm very, very curious about what's going to happen. But I mean, I'm going to keep hope alive. I'm a forever optimist. I just don't know if he's got the backbone, Tyra. I don't
I
know.
believe it. When he no, he was standing there with his mama and he gave, I say who, I say when, I say how much. She's a beautiful, brilliant woman, mama. I swear to God. It was given pretty. I say who, I say when, I say how much. Peggy is everything I could ever hope for. She's gorgeous. She's mom. Like he could have broke in this moment, and I think if he was what we think he is, he would have went like, "Oh my God, mom, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for telling me," and commenced to sob on Felicia's shoulder. No, he went like, "No, let me hear it from the horse's mouth, because I'm not just going to take it directly coming from you, no matter what you said happened." I think he's
Yeah.
going to stand by. I think so. He
We
might.
gon' see. Arthur, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I have not enjoyed hating Felicia Rashad, but here's a part of our history that we can't deny is that everybody. 90% of people have a Mama Kirkland in their family somewhere. And I think it's important that we get to see this side. And like I said, I will give it kudos to this show every single time for giving us this expression and this representation of blackness that we don't see often. Now, for better or worse, villain or not, it's a truth that was very, very real and is still real today in some families, in some spaces. So, I mean, just kind of be mindful of that as we venture on, because baby, it's real out here.
We have to stand in this because this is, a moment of a certain time. We want those dynamics of marriage. Peggy wants that for herself. At this point, if it does not work with Dr. Kirkland, we might as well have her over there with old Mr. Fortune. And well, I'm actually divorced now because it was always you, Peggy. So now that we're both, people of a certain kind, now we can be together and be ostracized because we're both ill at this point. We're marked goods. Um, he
And I
has
know
to be the
we're
one.
better than that, but I think we have to. I think we had to. I would have so loved it if even when he said, "Baby, keep it on the low. I don't want to know." If she had just said, "Listen, you have to know this. Like there's this thing I can't not let you because I can't have you out here looking a certain way when you're with me and you not knowing what it is."
Yeah.
And not saying that takes away necessarily from her love of him, but I think she's just like you said, so enraptured in the moment and in like the
She ain't never
butterflies
had
and glitter
this.
of it
I ain't
all.
never had none of
Yeah.
this. I ain't never been treated like this. This
Yeah,
is
he
great.
have her down bad. He trying to fight for her in the bus station. Um, TNT Bandit, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I don't think Dr. Kirkland will be upset, but I do think Peggy won't accept mean Mama Kirkland taking train, horse, buggy to spoil things for her.
Yeah,
We
I would
are
love to see like some like you mean to tell me that she's not gonna have any layer of and she probably won't because the way she came in there, you're like, oh, she got a dead son. Like she had no compassion for Peggy's situation. I was like, either way, you don't know everything, but you know at least she lost a child, ma'am. Mama
yeah.
Kirkland, have some compassion. She was like, nope, I'm a dog with a bone. Leave her where she at. She for the street, son, ma'am.
Oh, Lord. Thank you, This Black Girl's Life. We appreciate you coming through with the super chat. Let's see. It says, give it up for Sally Richardson. Great directing,
Absolutely.
period.
And I will
Absolutely.
say, for
And
anybody who's been set here and you love you some Sally Richardson, go on over there and watch Dr. Bus and them in the wintertime. Sally did a great job over there in the wintertime. She was great.
oh, winning time was cooking, cooking, cooking. Midnight Marauder, thank you for stopping by. I said, listen, I'm heading out to an event. Take care and enjoy the series. It's not my cup of tea, but, going over there.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
boo. We appreciate you. Charlotte, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Jack got a house and told the truth. Listen, we're going to get there. Charlotte, we're going to get there. I promise. I promise. I promise. I made too many slides in the first place. Let's go over here. And this will be
Yes,
quick.
Desi said, Sally Richardson directed this? Yes, she did. Sally Richardson is, she's on the executive producer of the show. And she directs, she writes, woman of many talents.
Absolutely. Oblivious and useless. Again, she comes over to the office now because, listen, I'm in this house all by myself. Y'all want me just alone? No one's listening to me. Do you know that she was talking in mid-sentence? Larry said, "Oh, Dad, I got this. Oh, yeah, son." She's steady rapping. Like, okay, I guess I'll leave now because you guys aren't listening to me. No, ho, we're not. Go plan a party. And so, of course, she announces she's doing the Newport Ball because Miss Astor cannot any longer. Again, they don't care and they pay her dust, which she deserves. I just wanted to put that in there.
Oh,
Finally,
no, go back, because I didn't like this. I did
I
not
did.
like this.
I
I am
did.
not letting old George Russell off easy. This is who
Mhm.
Bertha is. Bertha has been this for quite some time. But now that your career and your finances, even though it's y'all, like it's threatening financial ruin for the entire family, how are you going to fault her for something that she doesn't know and lash out at her in this way? Like, you're not going to take your little deeds and put it my way. What did I do beyond he act like, oh, you ruined something or you changed? This is who she's been. This is who Bertha's been since we met her. And
Yeah,
you loved it nonetheless when it worked in your favor and it was all good and the money and yeah, go on down there and be chummy with the folks and let's get this deal. Now all of a sudden I'm trash.
yeah.
Bertha is trash, but she's never been trash to you. Not up until this moment. Like he's acting like she's changed and every decision she made, it was under the guise of something else. Like he's been tricked. You have not been tricked, George. Please get your life together. I just want to say that.
I think it stopped serving him. I think Gladys was his reality check because I think because for the first time there was a direct impact to his character and who he was. If Beard that connects on both sides is nothing else, he is a vain man. We're not going to deny his shortcomings or who he is. He loved Bertha as his tool of destruction and development. That's all he wanted her for. If he wanted something done, he would send Bertha in to do it. She'll get the job done. And I think when it stopped serving him, it's like she can go kick rocks. And absolutely, ho, because she deserves it. And I only say that because you reap what you sow. And she is a trash box individual. And so I'll never get mad at the mistreatment of Bertha Russell.
Sitting there like, oh, you're just an oblivious, useless social climber. You don't even forward think about anything else but yourself. What is it? Did you ever stay to ask us what we wanted? Did you care about what you wanted before the shoe fell out of the bottom? No, you didn't. You just let her reign free and do the shenanigans as long as you were okay and your bottom line wasn't affected. But now I need to get the hell out of the office. Boy, Mr. Russell tried it. Tried it.
I mean, like I said, she can get it. She can get all the work every single time. I'm never going to be mad about it. Now we're over here with Larry and Marian. I told you that's going to be her picture in every single slide. He goes up to the schoolhouse because he goes across the street to try to talk to her, and she's not receiving visitors. No, Larry, I'm not leaving until I talk to her. I need to talk to my Marian because I got this Dear John letter, and I can't let it stand. He goes to the schoolhouse. She is what are they, cleaning erasers? And she says basically, listen, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining, Mr. Russell. I know you were there at that house of ill repute, slinging your ding-a-ling, and you've got me over here looking crazy. And he's like, listen, we didn't go to Delmonico's, but I was with friends. You know, Jack was there. We had a short time, and I went home. Like, it was fine, right? Legitimate story. I don't care. I'm not listening to anything you're saying. I'll bring the ring back. The ring is yours. I don't care. I'm not coming back. This is over between us, Larry. There's nothing more you can say, nothing more that you can do for me. I'm over it. Now, here's the thing. Marian, for being, again, so contained and for this being such a polite affection in terms of their relationship, it really, really gets to me that she has all this energy. In the moment. It's like he's level-headed. He's not sweating. He's not shivering. You can tell he's not lying to you. And it's like whatever he says, she's already made up her mind. She's like, this is done. There's nothing you can say, nothing you can do. It's absolutely over, which again makes me feel like Tyra. She never let us man. You don't even really like him for real. You don't like him for real because anybody you liked or loved, you would at least have a conversation with. Tyra, talk to me about his noble attempt to try to talk to her about, this misunderstanding.
Girl, Marian is the polite affection that you speak of. I think that this is something she wanted to work. And then she realized when she got into the thick of it, like, oh, it's not Larry either. Well, if it's not Larry, then who is it? I think she's spiraling at this moment because she's realizing like, oh, is it too late for me? Because she has it embedded in her head. And so often this episode, she keeps referring back to Agnes and what Agnes said, and Agnes was right. And oh, she's internalized it like this was my last shot and I messed it up. Do I have a polite affection and some type of sincerity for Larry as a friend, and even more more than that? But yeah, but do I want him as a husband? I don't, and I think it's hard. It's a hard pill for her to swallow. She feels like it's over. That's why she went directly into spinster territory. Like she was like, "Girl, please, that's not what this is." I think that this was a cop out. There's no way you could have ever just loved Larry down and you didn't even think he was worth a conversation. Like the way he had to track her down, like I had to come down to the schoolhouse in this high polite society and confront you about where I wasn't, what I wasn't doing at the house of ill repute. Man, it wasn't that. And the fact that she just didn't even think to, like, oh, you're telling me the truth. It took another person for you to be like, oh, I was wrong. No. What kind of partnership would that be? What kind of marriage would that be if I come in here and tell you? And of course she had that, well, you lied initially. You told me you were going somewhere else and it wasn't that. But I'm telling you the truth. The fact that you didn't care to want to know the truth. You didn't want to confront me. You didn't want to talk to me. You could even give me back my ring yourself. You used Ada. Like, ma'am, it's just unfortunate. I feel like she knows that it's never that. But instead of saying, Larry, it's not you, I like you, but I don't, love you in a way for marriage. This is just the way to like, oh, see, yeah, I knew this. She's getting her Mama Kirkland moment. See, yep, I knew you were trashed. I knew you were soiled. Yep, see, this is validation why you can't be my husband. No, it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. I feel like she has swallowed, oh, the third time's the charm. Agnes said that I would never go on and I can't stand. Yeah, this is it for me. I don't have any hope anymore because if it's not Larry, then who else could it ever be?
Yeah, at this point, and he's probably the most docile, calm, gentle, genuine person who's not really out to get anything from her at all except companionship.
She don't have nothing. She don't even have it. She has nothing.
that's why Rakes rejected her before, right? He went to the cash cow because she didn't have anything. I think it's probably I think it's a like an amalgamation of like so many different things. I like she says to Agnes or to Ada here. Every man in my life has betrayed me, from my father to, Rakes to whoever else. Every man I've ever seen. Maybe I trust Agnes's thoughts more than I trust my own intuition now. I think she's insecure about her choices because she has chosen wrong so many times. And I think in her mind, when she said I'd rather be a spinster, she meant that ish. It was so tactless though in this moment. You know that Ada was a spinster for 100 years until she met Mr. Forte. And she's like, listen, little girl, like what you would never want to be as a spinster. Do you know what this life is like? Like, do you know the trials, the valleys, and the hills I've had to climb over here, dressed in all black to this day? Like, do you know what I've been through? Look at my face. Look and see what I've been through. And Marian is, oh, I'm so sorry. Girl, you're just in such a broken, hysterical place. And it was definitely hysteria. It was definitely histrionics. It was all of the above. But I said, how can we be so emotionally intelligent in the beginning of the episode and get here and she can be such a cad? You know what your auntie been through, and you gonna sit in her face and tell her because you know about being a spinster, heifer? Like, really, Marian, be for real. Tyra?
Girl, as hard as it's been for us and Ada this season, all about Luca. Why would you do this right now? Marian has the capacity to be emotionally mature and present for everybody else. She doesn't feel like she's worth that. She can't do that for herself. She regrets, and I don't know, maybe it is because she brought up her father this episode, and we didn't really explore too much with that, with the father letting her down and the money situation and how she was just kind of left to fend for herself. You weren't a forethought for this. I think it's traces of that in her mentality now and why she moves the way that she does. It's a little piece of scorn in that way as far as men and are you really and can I trust? And when I really did, I think when that first man, that man about town who who went to the highest bidder, once that didn't work out, she just had it set in her mind, like, well, if I can't trust him and I couldn't even trust my own father, who can I trust? I think she's very insecure. And I love this picture. It is like a mirror. Like I'll just be a spinster. I'll just like, why would you do that? This I think this is all circling around to, I don't think Marian's ready to be married to anybody, but she's afraid to just say that outright because what does that make me? I don't maybe want to be a spinster either, but I don't want to marry. I don't think it's about a man or anybody. I don't think she wants that for herself, but she can't say that out loud just yet.
Yeah, I agree. And I like that representation because it is a mirror. This is who you could be, sister. This literally is who you can be and will be if you don't stop playing around, Marian, and get a grip. And maybe Marian and I guess women in those days, and that's probably a really true depiction. We weren't really given the opportunity to explore who we were on our own, right? Like, who can you be just in and of yourself outside of a man? The whole society was male centered and male dominated. So how does one not, because I see in the comments, that she had faith in men and put them on a pedestal, but how do you not pedestalize men when they're the source of all happiness in those days? At least what you're supposed to believe.
Yeah, and I also feel like there's a bit of envy on her part as far as Larry is concerned. Like the fact that you could be over there at the house of women of ill repute and have your way and do your deeds and be out there and make your own decisions. And I can't. The moment I do, I'm spoiled goods. I won't even be considered, for a marriage or anything. I think it was some envy on her part and just some distrust. She's a little broken, just a little bit.
She's broken, baby. She is. Hopefully she'll get some healing. Hopefully. Thank you so much, Kizzy29. Good to see you for the $5 super chat. Larry should have let the little curl drop on his forehead. Game over. Listen, all he had to do was a smooth little, you know how they used to do back in the day, get his Twilight on, and she would have folded like a chair. Because what happened to all that passion? All these like honey, stealing kisses and carriages and behind those big heavy cars.
It was all fun before he, actually proposed marriage. Then it's just like, oh, this is real. I don't think she wanted that.
I don't either. X-Men superfan Emma Frost coming through again with the super chat. Cool. Blame the lousy lawyer from the first season. But I mean, at some point we got to let it go. At some point, if we want to, if we want to be happy for the rest of our life, never make a pretty woman your wife. Like, we have to move on and ease on down the road. Like, I'm going over there with Larry. I'm gonna go over there with Larry and take my chances. I
I don't
mean,
know what her plan is. It has to be that she doesn't want to, because especially women of this time, they were going for like the best bet and how can I be set, because she doesn't, aside from, who she is as a person, Marian doesn't have a whole lot to offer in society stance. Like she doesn't have, like she said in this episode, if it wasn't for you and I wouldn't have nothing. I wouldn't be nowhere. I think she has a low self-worth because she doesn't know who she is. Because she had
yeah.
all this ambition when she got there, and it's like we're doing exactly what she is still teaching, but we don't even see that strong passion there. She needs to figure that out. Like I'm not ready to be sad and be Mrs. So and so's wife when I want to have my own identity. I don't know.
That
We'll see.
part. Yeah, the most active and excitement. I mean, and it was exciting to see her, with Oscar at the beginning because this is the most exuberance that we've seen from her since the season one. The most like her original character, how she was presented. But now we go over here with Jack, honey. We get to see my baby Jack again. Did y'all know Jack sings in real life? I saw the video, honey. All of these are actors. Do you hear me on the stage and perform in musical theater, darling? But he sounds really good. But anyway, we get to see him again this episode, and he is house shopping, and Marian, of course, goes along with them to make sure everything is on the up and up. And before they leave, before he signs on the dotted line, because he said, I want that one, yep, this house will work, he said, your staff? He said, my staff? I said, yes, your staff, honey, go get some staff. But basically he says, listen, I lied to you the other night. I didn't want you to look at me crazy, but we went over there, but I was with him the whole night. He left with me. Of course she tries to cut him off, but no, y'all were there at the Hoe House. Y'all were there at Haymarket, harlotry. And I know what he didn't know. He was there with me the whole time. We met friends and we left together. Same story Larry gave. So now she's sitting there with egg on her face, like, I have to eat crow. But what is she going to do? Jack has cleared the matter, which we knew he was going to have to do. But Tyra, where do we go from here? Is she going to apologize? What's going to happen?
I think she will, but I don't want her. First of all, you better get your place, Jack. I was like, moving on up, moving on up. Better get you a place, Jack. And Peggy sings too over there on Broadway. Beautiful, beautiful gowns.
Mm-hmm.
I think she'll apologize, but just on the grounds of me thinking the worst of you and me still, your friend, I'm still here for you. I don't think she's apologizing in the sense of, will you ever consider, marrying me again? Can I get the ring? I would hope not, because then I'm going to need Larry to tell her where to go. Like, girl, please go away, because she's not emotionally mature enough at this point to really be married and be any of that that he would need. I don't think she's there yet, so I hope that she just does that to kind of save what friendship they may have left, because they were that first. But I hope it's not in the sense of, can we try again? Like, Marian, don't play with us, and do not play with Larry. Jack, you better get your place, my good man.
Get him. All right.
I
Thank
didn't
you.
know what was happening at first when she was in there. I said, y'all, please don't play with me.
You know that, right? There's a whole movement.
I know. I was like, if you don't get out of Jack's place, get out of his Caucasian home immediately, Marian. Please don't make this a thing. But she was just looking at the place with them. I was here for that. I didn't know what they were doing for a second.
You said, watch it. Don't do this. T. Taylor, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Do you think Agnes may have killed her husband? What we do know, and the implication is that he put her through hell. That it was a very hard and rough marriage, which gave me the indication that he was abusive. It wouldn't be beyond Agnes to crush up some whatever arsenic and old lace and put it in that man's food. But we don't know the circumstances around his death, but we know it was a hard marriage. What?
I love it. Ashley, arsenic and hard lace.
And old lace.
She'll put it in there. I could very well get with that, because I was always one of the ones who wanted her to expound on her experience, because it was always about what she sacrificed for them to be where they are and for them to even be financially set as long as they were. And that husband, he was a hard man. Like,
yeah.
And she's a hard woman in a sense. That she's been through some things that has made her stronger. I definitely wouldn't put it past her to have killed that man. And that would explain why she wants nothing to do with nothing. Girl, don't ask me nothing. She should have paid that lady that little donation or whatever she wanted so she can get off of her trail. I would be here for that. That's good. That's messy.
That would be super messy, and it's not beyond Julian Fellows, honey. But yes, they are shipping Marian and Jack hard in them TikTok streets. Lord, Bonji Baby 21, thank you so much for the 4.99 super chat. House shopping. Oh, I'm an episode behind. See y'all in a bit. Grab your Kleenexes.
Please go watch it. Don't want to spoil nothing. Benji, baby, get out of here. This needs to be watched with no clue of what's coming. Please go watch it first.
And now we're over here. Ain't it something? Yeah, be whatever I want to be. Period.
Oh,
Sing it, Cinderella. Because now you're alone in your gilded cage, sister. What you gonna do? You done acquired everything. I thought this was so poetic. Because I mean, she was willing to sacrifice everything and ultimately did to arrive at this place in society. She's now hosting the Newport Ball when she couldn't even get an invitation in season 1. You know what I mean? We've come full circle, but now everything that really mattered is no longer there. You are alone in your gilded cage that you built yourself, that you pleaded, and schemed to get. And now you're over here. What's the point of getting all this and you have nobody to share it with? Ain't that what Billy D said in Mahogany? That's what he said. But come on, Tyra. Talk to me about Bertha being alone in her gilded cage. Because it's beautiful, honey.
This was gorgeous gown, gorgeous home. It's opulent. I love it. But girl, when he gave her that, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn, and he ran out the house and slammed the door in Bertha's face, I was like, sir. So like we'll be down at the office, and Larry said he's moving out because we just know you had something to do with Marian. Well, we know how you roll. We don't put it past you. Yeah, it was probably you. Like them thinking the worst of her. It was. I was almost this close to feeling legitimately sorry for Bertha.
Hell no.
But what always takes me back is what Bertha decides to prioritize and how she words things, even when she was trying to get on George's good side, where I went over there, I fixed things with Agnes. She's fine. Like, what do you want me to do? God, I fixed that. She's good. I mean, I didn't do that. And the fact that George is telling her, girl, I could care less. You are always prioritizing some party or trying to be a social climber and get into these spaces. I'm telling you right now that we could be done for. Baby, the bank account went cold before. Oh, yeah, I'll take on that party. Yeah, I'll host it. I'm going to host. Girl, I just told you we were about to lose everything. And it's just like, oh, what does that mean? Are we going to the poorhouse? Are we going to be if we are, you're going to help us there. Like, the fact that she couldn't just leave well enough alone, and it's all about what's being presented, and we still need to get in front of this book. We need to get in front of the narrative. I'm still going to prioritize that over people just thinking the worst of me, but not just general people or who's reading this book. No, or about our marriage. My own husband, my son, my daughter, in a certain place. Like, let me just kind of focus on that. Damn the party. She's like, oh no, we're going to still host that party because I need you guys to know whatever's in this book, it's not true. Even though it is. Like, why are we still prioritizing that? She just won't let it go, even though she's sitting in this beautiful castle at this point by herself. It's sad. It's sad, Bertha. But she looked good. Beautiful gowns.
Yeah, girl, she gonna find a way. Well, of course, tragedy always brings people together. Damn it.
Yeah.
And I'm annoyed by this. And I believe this was in this episode. I'm gonna show the slide. Tara, you tell me because sometimes I be getting stuff mixed up. But the doctor does make his way over to the house, the Van Ryn house, and talks to the staff and says, I need to talk with Peggy immediately. We need to talk. How do you think this conversation is going to go? Because I don't think we got much of it, right? We didn't get much of this last night. So
maybe I just know that the shots are going to ring out. I know he better not run across that street to save old George and see about his chest before Peggy gets to say her bid. I need Peggy to say it once. I don't need a whole little Peggy, spit it out, Peggy. Like, this is your moment. This is your moment, baby, to get it. I feel like he better stand by her. This is your man. Yes, this is your man. I'm going to stand beside him. I want him to stand by her. Like, the same thing that I want for Oscar and for him to know, like that conversation where Marian said, regardless of whatever, I love you anyway and I'm going to be here. I want the same thing for Peggy. I just feel like if it's not going to be Dr. Kirkland for Peggy, then that leads us to have to maybe meet someone else, a new interest, or try to maybe put Mr. Fortune back in the picture. Like, yeah, I got that divorce, girl. No, it needs to be Dr. Kirkland. It needs to happen now. It needs to be that. I think he's going to say, like, you should have just told me sooner. I'm sorry you went through that. You know, I love you just the same. I still want you to be my wife, regardless of what you've been through. I think it's going to be positive. I hope so. I hope so.
I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But easing on down the road again, Armstrong, the town gossip. She got that recording. I just had to put that slide in there. But let's get to the other attraction of the episode, y'all. Because baby, he in that room. Because listen, here's what he had to do. He had to go, like you said, and tell Clay, listen, you trash box. I hated you ever worked for me. What made you turn on me, Clay? Wasn't I good to you? Clay didn't like you. He said, I did anything any normal businessman would go. And then we're sitting there closing all the deals, shaking all the hands. Today was a good day. We did that. The Russell fortune is saved. And we see this demonic faced villain that we see as a killer, freaky, super Jason killer in every single movie or show. He comes, and when I saw his face, I said, oh, it's up in his stuff. You know the face. You know the man. He's in everything. He's a villain. Romeo are a villain. Yes, he's terrible. And I knew he's got one of those scary faces. He's got one of those.
Let me go look back at it. I want to see now, because you'll be dramatic. Let me go.
I'm not. I know whenever I see his face, bodies are going to drop. They're going to roll. And so he comes out, and I said, is this like a one of those old school blickies? You know how they have the little chamber shot? And I said, they're just all going to stand there and let them get it one by one. It wasn't semi-automatic.
Unexpected.
But they all stood there and just got popped. And so next thing I know, listen, a walk by. And then we see the beard that connects on both sides. He goes, and I said, oh, he was like, and he falls out. And I'm like, oh God, not them doing this. We just had, what'd you say, a drive-by fruiting on horseback, speeding, 25 miles per hour, and John Adams died. The next episode, you're going to try to take out the beard that connects. Here's my thing with Sonia and Julian. Y'all can't do this. This is a beard that's worth lasting for. Do you see the little mole there? Do you see how fine this man is? I don't give a damn about his character at this point in terms of on the show. I like his character, period. I mean his integrity. I don't care about that. I just need the full beard that connects on both sides and this strong hairline to stay in the show. Because who else am I going to look at? Who's age appropriate, who's sexy, and who's got a personality. I need him here. But Tyra, now that this is all said and done, he's not gone yet, y'all. So hope is still
going nowhere. We just happen. You mean to tell me, out of all the days, this just happens to be the moment that old Dr. Kirkland is directly across the street. Like, we don't even gotta wait for anybody to get there. He's not going anywhere. This is a plot device to bring that family together, because everybody was making their videos, and I saw they're like, oh, is it over for the Russells? They're getting divorced. He tired of Bertha. He's finally wising up. Oh, she finna really buckle down. What party? What polite society? What book? No, I need to stand here and be by my man. The family, maybe Gladys was already set to come on down. We're going to be a strong family front. This man ain't going nowhere. His beard that connects in his mode, not fret. He's not going anywhere. I feel like I said, hopefully Peggy gets her news out before Dr. Kirkland runs across the street to see about him. But yeah, he ain't going nowhere. But this was cute, though. They tried it.
And that strong hairline. Don't forget the full hairline, too.
And I look at this man, Ashley, girl.
He's a freaky killer and everything. You know he is. He's got a Skeletor face. That's what I'm talking about. The man who does the walk-by shooting in this episode has a Skeletor face, and every time you see him, bodies are going to drop. It's what he does. But no, here's the question I have for you, because we know that the deed is done. They did it in the last frame like they did last episode. They're going to have to stop doing that to us. But by whose hand? Clay is the obvious choice because he's a man with nothing to lose. However, we are now enthralled and embroiled in not only the land that's got 10 millions of dollars worth of copper, we
Mhm.
also are in a race with the railroad, because if you know the history of railroads and westward expansion, you also know that there were other competing railroad lines.
Yeah.
And so we don't know who's going to be well, we know who's going to be victorious at this point, but it could be competition. It could be Merrick's. They never wanted to sell their shares. It could be JP Morgan Chase. It could be Clay. Who is your best bet as far as by whose hand took or
I don't
tried to?
want it to be Clay. I know that because he's the most obvious choice. I think that would be a cop out if it was him. And I like the fact that he's kind of burnt so many bridges and crossed so many people that it would be like, oh, it's I want it to be the person you least expect. I just want it to be really, really left field because we didn't just come in there for baby, I'm shooting everybody here. I'm not leaving a witness. We were taking like that was like a walk by for real. Like we weren't intending for Mr. Russell to go off. Like if he could have gave him a headshot, he would have. I feel like it's hopefully going to be not Clay and someone else that it's like, oh, because this is to sit him down. This is to sit Bertha down. This is now maybe not financially because we're still going to do that, but I think they're going to regroup and prioritize family and realize what it's really all for because it could all be taken away from you at any moment and you can't take it with you, sir. I just wanted to be like, oh, I never would have thought it would have been you. Please just don't be just Clay. Don't do that.
Please don't be. Common Girl, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, I just subbed. Love seeing people talk about my niche show. Friend, you've got tons to binge. I do uploads and we do this live every single Monday. The whole season up to now is on both of our pages. So please, please, please have a binge fest. I promise it's entertaining. I promise it's entertaining, if nothing else. Duchess08, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I'm so mad. Mr. Russell was that lax with the way he spit in the face of the op. Fine, sir. What were you thinking? He's thinking he's untouchable.
Sketches because that's what this is. That's what this is. Like you are just. That's why I said it wasn't enough to sit him down because we had baby Larry come through there with the cavalry and save the business. So he only had to sweat for a second. It was the same thing with the deaths on the railroad and the standoff. And are you going to just shoot me here? It's just always something to draw back. And it's like, well, I can push it further. I always kind of come out clean on the other end and win and get what I always wanted. It's kind of giving Agnes, I'm always right. I feel like this is to sit him down and have him reprioritize what's really going on here.
What's really important in life. I agree with that. Now, Nartha, this is something. That lady was pissed off. The lady who had who shot husband unalived himself because George bankrupted them from season one. It
Oh,
could
that's
have been
so
her.
far. I was always waiting. Once the train track incident happened, I thought she was behind that, trying to set them up for the business to go into, some type of downfall. We ain't seen or heard from that woman since.
No. And then my only other thought, as far as who could be behind this, is something to do with the labor union last
Mm.
season. But it makes more sense for it to be tied to the railroad. But I won't forget how he did them people. And remember, in 6 months, their contracts were all going to come back and they
Yeah.
were going to have to do it all over again. Who
Um,
worked for the union. So he's got enemies. Like, he's not a man without enemies in the space. So, I mean, I'm interested in seeing what's going on. But Tyra, before
mhm.
we get out of here, let me know. Do you have any predictions for the finale episode? And let people know what we got going on this week.
I don't have any, and I like it that way. I actually didn't even watch the trailer. I don't want to know nothing. I ain't seen nothing. I ain't heard nothing. I just I want to see Bertha get some blood on her gown. I'll say that. I want to see her sweat all about George and just really get into it. I want Gladys there looking dramatic, giving that old pensive face that we haven't seen in a while because she's been happy, over there. She's been over there being happy with the Duke. So I want to get into that. I want Dr. Kirkland to be 10 toes down for Peggy regardless, and then he can go over there and save Mr. George. Okay, we can do both things, at the same time. I want Marian to go over there with Larry and go, can you ever forgive me? I'm sorry I didn't trust you. Please, Larry, I didn't mean it. And
Please,
for him
Lynn.
to tell her she can leave and get out of his face on the horse she rode in on. If you don't get out of my face, yeah, you're not who I thought you were, Marian. I want that for him. I want that for him and for Marian because don't even play with yourself. I want to know what that lady knows and what Agnes is hiding.
Miss
Yeah.
Foster.
And we better see the property. We better go on down to John Adams' property in the States that he left for Oscar and know that, we can have a fresh start because he needs some space from all of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you guys, there's still 327 of you here. Please go and make sure that you hit the like button. It helps so, so much. We appreciate you guys for coming out and rocking with us for 7 episodes of the Gilded Age. One more episode, Tyra. What are we gonna do? But let people know what we've got going on this week, and we will get out of here.
The usual. Tomorrow, we are still on season 4 of Game of Thrones. Ashley loves it. I've never seen it. I'm coming around. Not love, but a strong like for Game of Thrones, and it's always funny. It's always a good time. We do that in open forum in the Discord, and we all have a little kiki. It's fun. So join us for that if you're interested. I will be taking the reins this week on The Summer I Turned Pretty. I can't wait to see the trashy shenanigans that Jelly Belly has going on over there. So that's going to be fun. And of course, we're getting closer to the end of And Just Like That. That's also happening this week. And if you care to participate in any of those things, please join us because the links are already up there.
Absolutely. But thank you guys so much for coming through. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys showing up every single Monday night and showing love. It means the most. And we will see you guys next Monday. Have a great night and be safe.